Hi, welcome to Idrivesafety video. This is the pre-drive check that Vic Roads will want you to do in Victoria before you start your test. They'll want you sitting in your car, seatbelt on, and you should have your driver's side window down. You don't have to have it all the way down. That way you can hear the tester when they're outside the car giving you directions. You should also have your car to the ignition, and you'll notice that because all the dash lights are on. So that, with all those orange lights, not just the park brake light, that tells you that your ignition is on. They'll then want you to turn your lights on low beam, and you'll notice here there's a dot and a picture of a light. Now some cars have a dial, some have it on the indicator stalk, some have it on buttons, but you'll notice the picture of the light and the dot. The point is actually just a park light. It's really pointless in today's day and age. So then you'll turn it to the light position. Dash, you'll notice there's no blue light on the dash, whereas if we push that forward, we have the high. So in daylight, I can't tell when my high beam's on or not unless I look at the light, because I can't see the beam. So they'll ask you, turn your lights on low beam, which just means on. On and low beam are the same thing. And then they'll say high beam, back to low beam. They'll ask you to leave them on. It's a visibility thing for daylight. They like to be seen more, so it reduces risk. They'll then ask you to indicate right and left. They'll ask you to put your hazard lights on, and that's finding the red triangle. So it'll be somewhere on the top of the gear, on the steering wheel, or across your dash, and it always looks the same. It's a red triangle. And you'll notice then your hazard lights are on. And they're just making sure that if something goes wrong on the road, that you're able to put your hazards on and help make the journey safer for them. They will ask you to point to the front and the rear demister. And you'll notice in every car there's the picture here where you've got that little arrow that says the air is coming from the outside, and then the circle one. And then over to here we have a square with that little vent thing, and then what looks like the shape of the wipers make on the front window. So front demister, rear demister. So the rear demister is purely because the back window has those wires through it, so it's an electrical current, whereas the front is based on air. So air onto the front window, that's the front window, my feet. So they'll ask you to point to the front and the rear demister. You don't have to operate them, just point to them, so that if they're needed in the test, you can defog the windows. They'll ask you to point to your park brake or hand brake to test your brake lights. So that means push the brake on and off, and that's ensuring that we have brake lights at the back of the car, half roadworthy check. They'll also ask for the front window for wiper and washer. So it's not just wiper, but they want to know if something happens, you can clean the front window and clear the vision while driving. They'll also ask you to toot the horn, remembering you don't need to put your hand all the way in, just thumbs to there, it'll do that for you. Then before you drive off, I would suggest you wind your window up, because in winter you may freeze or get wet. Thank you.